Welcome, everybody, to our post-Thanksgiving, post-Black Friday, post-whatever Monday, post-something Tuesday version of
Tech Tuesday.
of WeirdWednesday.com, or Weird Wednesday from BaloneyBrain.com. See, I got myself confused. This is, of course, John House, or Used Toy, and joining me right next to the water in Key West is Suburban Hobo, or Daryl House. How you doing, Daryl?
I'm doing great. We're just having a great time, just relaxing. Spider McCluskey and I are down here in the Keys for a couple of days, just living the good life, you know.
Oh, Lord, keep him out of trouble.
Well, what's the old song by the Beatles? Christ, you know it ain't easy. We had a little too much to drink last night.
That's surprising. Well, just don't get him kidnapped while you're down there.
You know what? We're just down the road from where that actually happened, down Tom's Harbor. It's not 5 miles from here where we made the transfer and paid the ransom. Hey, listen, I got some good stuff here today. You ready to get busy?
Yeah, let's do this.
My first story today is kind of a feel-good story. This is the story of a man who did something wrong, and it haunted him his whole life, and he finally just recently made amends. A man haunted after carrying out a mugging to impress a friend apologized to his victim 35 years later after seeing the victim on Facebook. Michael Goodman, 53 years old, who's a teenager in the late 70s. He targeted this guy, Claude Soffel. He's 52 years old now, on the steps of the American Museum of Natural History in New York. He mugged him. He stole his bus pass, but he was quickly arrested, struggled to come to terms with his actions for the next 3 decades. So recently, he's reading a newspaper article that H&H Bagels of New York's Upper East Side was being closed, and Mr. Soffel's name was in the comments. Well, he recognized the name, and he said enough is enough. This has gone on for too many years. He decided it was time to apologize. So he wrote on Facebook, for some reason, there were undercover police there that night. I was arrested on the spot. Dad had to leave work. Dad was not happy the night he got arrested 35 years ago. He says, I've never forgotten the incident or your name. So when he tells about having seen him on my favorite bagel store's closing, and there was your name, and I was just blown away. So finally I can say, I am very sorry that you had to go through that crap that day long ago. I wish it had never happened.
Good
but it did.
for him. Good for him.
Yeah, he said I was trying to impress some guy that I was tough, and he said it was just stupid. It was a gang. So about 10 days later, he heard back from Mr. Soffel, who said, you are certainly, here's his quote. He's a gentleman. He says, you wrote, Michael Goodman, clearly you're a bigger man today. Wow. Memory, funny thing, so I recognize your name as well, so apology accepted.
Well, you know, I'm a bigger man as well these days.
Well, especially after Thanksgiving.
Well, you know, I've got a feel-good story, too. Suzette Hall, alleged topless barber, arrested for practicing without a license. A woman, she gives haircuts topless, which isn't a bad idea.
I'll drink to that.
And she was arrested Wednesday night on suspicion of practicing cosmetology without a license. Apparently, it's okay to give topless haircuts, but you just can't do it without a license. But she was giving them for $45 a pop, and let's see, yeah, she wasn't arrested for being a nude hairstylist, but for practicing cosmetology without a license. Her ex-husband said, by the way, that she did apply for a nude license for hairstylists, but in Colorado, no such license exists.
Yeah. Oh, you know, down in Fort Lauderdale, for years, down on South Federal Highway, we had a nude, it wasn't nude, it was a topless donut shop.
Yeah, they were in the news a couple times.
Yeah, but they've gone the way of the world. You can't hardly find hookers down there anymore. South Federal's where all the nasties were. But it's good. So, did you hear this? Bob Dylan has been in trouble with the French authorities.
Oh, no.
They cited him for incitement to hatred. Dylan, he did an interview in Rolling Stone magazine in 2012, and he compared the Croatians, with the Nazis, and didn't sell well. Some people just questioned the whole thing. So they brought Bob Dylan in. He was there to receive an honor from the French government, but 2 days earlier, these people had brought charges against him. He was questioned, charged. Dylan had compared the relationship between the Croats and the Serbs, that's out of the Nazis and the Jews. And the wording here is a bit odd for me, but Dylan says, if you got a slave master or clan in your blood, blacks can sense that. See, that sounds a little weird to me, but he went on to say, he said, that stuff lingers to this day, just like Jews sense Nazi blood and Serbs sense Croatian blood. So he goes into this whole thing. Well, anyway, it hasn't run its way through court yet, but Dylan has been charged. And again, that the charge is incitement to hatred, which is against the law in France.
All right. Well, my question is this: if the interview was from 2012, it really took till November 2013 for them to charge him. All I've got to say is, oh la la.
You got a lot of nerve.
See, you didn't know I spoke French.
I did not. I remember Pepe Le Pew is where I learned my French watching Bugs Bunny on Saturday morning.
Well, speaking of Bugs Bunny, man charged with fraud over banana peel fall. A guy was in an elevator. There was a camera there. He drops the banana peel and then thrusts himself in the direction of the banana peel to fall. And he's been charged with fraud, a second-degree felony. My question is, this is so Saturday morning cartoon. Is he going to get maybe Acme? Does Acme have a lawyer service that they can represent him? Whee! I should have had a slide whistle for this.
Well, here's my story of the day. I know you're a big sports fan. Congratulations to the Ohio State Buckeyes who put themselves in a position to compete for the national championship. Go Bucks. But my favorite story really comes out of Alabama. And the truth is, I have nothing against the Crimson Tide. I actually kind of like him. I think McCarron, the quarterback, is a real fine quarterback. He's going to do great in the NFL. I hate the coach, Nick Saban. Is what we call him in South Florida. As he left the Dolphins coach, he was a laughing bastard. He still is, so I don't like him at all. I said, no, I'm not going to go coach Alabama. Last day he's coaching the Dolphins. No, I'm not going to Alabama. No. It made you go in and bought a house. So anyway, a woman is charged with killing a fellow Alabama fan after the end of last week's Iron Bowl football game because she was angry that the victim and the others weren't upset over the Crimson Tide's loss to Auburn. So the lady's name is Adrienne LaRose Brisky, rhymes with whiskey. She was charged Monday with murder in the killing of 36-year-old Michelle Shepard. The captain said both of the Birmingham women were Alabama fans and at a party for the annual game. With no time left on the clock, of course everybody knows this by now, with no time left on the clock, Auburn returned a missed Crimson Tide field goal more than 100 yards, rushing for a 34-28 victory.
Yay!
Dashed any hopes of Alabama playing for the national championship for a third time in a row. The victim's sister said she witnessed the killing, had no doubt it was about football, even though it was unclear to investigators at the time. That's one thing we are investigating, the captain said. But Nakisa Shepard said that Brisky flew into a rage when she saw the sisters and others joking that the Crimson Tide loss wasn't as bad as, say, the Miami Heat loss game. Who were, by the way, played last night. I'll tell you later on who won the game. But she said that Alabama fans, they weren't really Alabama fans because it didn't bother them that they lost.
So then they had to die.
Yeah. It's like a Clint Eastwood ending.
If we'd have done that in Cincinnati when the Bengals were losing in the 90s, there wouldn't be anybody left in Cincinnati.
Yeah. Tough times.
All right. Well, this has been in the news about Amazon and their drone delivery service. Well, apparently they're not really the first to do this. 4 suspects in Georgia have been arrested after using a remote-controlled helicopter above a prison yard. The suspects were trying to make a delivery to inmates, including 2 pounds of rolled-up tobacco, cell phones, and other stuff.
Sure, it was tobacco.
Who knows? Anyway, the suspects are accused of
Can they get
arranging.
tobacco in prison already anyway?
Never been. I hope to never go.
Yeah, well, I heard.
I know it's a lot different than it used to be. I know our local jail no longer allows smoking.
Really? They have no smoke prisons? I didn't know that.
They do.
Wow.
Anyway, the 6-rotor Spectrum DX6i helicopter, the geeks at geek.com call it a hexacopter, was the vehicle, and they apparently were able to fly it right in, and the cops got smart and busted them on the escape. I guess they were outside with binoculars and a car and whatever. So
yeah, a little joystick.
Yeah.
That's funny. I saw the thing on Amazon, and I was wondering if Amazon's going to get in the delivery business, like, compete with FedEx and UPS. Did you hear that FedEx and UPS are going to merge?
I did not.
They're going to call it Fed Up. Okay, not true.
All right.
Well,
that's all I got.
Does the Pentagon know about this helicopter? Hexacopter?
I have no idea.
Oh, well, that's great. Well, listen, folks, it's the holidays. We're having a good time down here in the Keys, and then up in the Miami Valley, they're freezing their butts off.
Well, Daryl, enjoy your time in Key West. We'll see everybody next week.
Bye-bye.